A new NFL documentary just dropped from the draft revealing all kinds of new details, including the Rams attempting to trade with the New York Jets in the first round multiple times, and the Jets said thanks, but no thanks. We now know those offers. Did the Jets make the right move or the wrong move? We discuss.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What's going on, everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And every weekend, my father dives into the pool to do a little hop-on pop action. And again, we're going to be talking about this very juicy Jets-Rams trade proposal, multiple trade proposal package. We'll be doing that here on the program. And let's do an early Happy Father's Day to the Eston Zone here on the show. What's up, Pop?
Hey now. How's it going?
Ooh, not a big fan of the Patriot shirt, but hey, you know what?
It's not that kind of Patriot dingle. Not everything is the NFL. I am an American Patriot. And as in regards to what you just said,
yeah.
I don't know if you can capture the back of my shirt.
Yeah, and just lean back a little. Towards me. Yep. Oh, no F's given, I'm assuming. Or F's given. Oh, yes. 0, the jersey number. Now I got you. Yeah.
0 F's given about your opinion on my shirt. But anyways, I got to give you some feedback early this morning. I'm watching the promo that I've watched for a few hundred times.
Yeah, how could you not? Yeah.
And I think you're altering everyone's expectations. And frankly, I'm disappointed. You're normally Mr. Optimism. You know what's the Super Bowl for New York Jets fans? The Super Bowl. Not whatever fantasy island thing you're talking about that, hey, it's glad to show up. We're once again happy to be drafting the first top 3 draft picks. The Super Bowl is the Super. That's what you say, the Super Bowl. So what else could be the Super Bowl?
The context
is realistic expectations of the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the Super Bowl.
Yes, I concur. I agree. The only difference is during the documentary, the question person, which is Seth Bradley, the director of One Jets Drive, he asked me, what does the Jets offseason mean when things are going crazy and there's trades and draft speculation and everything? And I'm like, it's like the Super Bowl. Well, I wouldn't know because I wasn't alive when they were in the Super Bowl. So I'm hoping that we can update
for
that.
New York Jets fans is what you say.
Yeah.
Right. And historically, it's because that's when you're undefeated and you're tied for first place, which that's not the way it's going to be going forward. That's all I'm saying.
How about we win both? We win both the paper trophy and the real trophy. Boom. 2 trophies in the case.
Either way, you could change that intro that the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. And welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club hour. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll work on that.
Speaking of that, what's the number? We had this large demand for the merch. I don't have it. I do have it in Atlanta. I'm currently in South Carolina, Summerville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
What's the how have we done on the coffee cup merch product output?
Let me see. I can tell you that right now if I go into our analytics section. So again, if you guys would like, as I'm pulling up those numbers, you could go right into the YouTube description right now and buy some Boy Green merch. I saw my fiance, she ordered herself a coffee mug. I don't have it near me because I wasn't here when she opened it. I was at work, but she has it open somewhere here in the house and she liked it. But yes, down there in the Boy Green merch shop is shirts, hats, coffee clubs, and coffee mugs. Also, I will tell you people that we did change it. It used to have a weird name for our YouTube membership, but now it is a name by the fans And now for the fans, it is the Boy Green Coffee Club is our YouTube membership for $2.99 a month. You can help support the show. That is a little money sign on the left side of your screen to join the group. Let me see. Yeah, our coffee mugs have been the most popular item. Let's see. There is, we've had like, I don't know, 10 coffee mugs or something, somewhere in that range. Something
All
like
right.
that.
We had a lot of demand for them. I know I'm personally responsible for 3. So,
Okay. Well, thank you to all the other people. And by the way, another perk, once you guys purchase any of this action to help support the show, which is coffee mugs, shirts, whatever, if you tag me on social media, I'll help blow it up. I'll show my support for you guys showing your support. So feel free, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. If you guys get those, do it very nice. And Jared B says they pack those mugs nicely. I'm glad to get it
they
right
sure
there.
did.
So yes.
It's
Yeah.
crazy
So-
how well they pack those mugs. They get like this top holder and bottom holder, and then it fits tightly into this box. It's a good deal. It's impressive.
So I appreciate everybody for that. Okay, are you
So-
ready to get in? Yeah,
Almost.
please.
I got to talk about the game. We're as Celtics fans, I can't go without at least mentioning the fact that they were kind enough to let Dallas have a little dignity at home.
Yeah,
I also like to not go unnoticed that Jason Kidd looks like not Jason Kidd. Help me out here.
you're talking about Jason Kidd,
Yeah,
the head
Jason
coach.
Kidd. Yeah, thank you. Jason Kidd looks like
Yeah.
he's a lost 10-year-old on the playground looking for his mother when he wears that hat backwards. A weird
Yeah, he did that in the
combination between that.
pregame.
Yeah, a weird combination between that and he looks like the guy from the Humpty Dance when he's got his glasses on. So I'm not sure what's going on there. You may want to hire, I don't know, your sister Haley to do a fashion consultant because, yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah, Game 5 on Monday night. That is back in TD Garden. So we'll see how the series progresses. Hey, no team has ever come back from 3-0. Maybe the Mavs will be the first one. We'll see.
Who are you? Go wash your mouth out with soap.
I'm kidding. They have no chance. But again, they showed some life about damn time, but a little bit late to the party. That's all.
Yeah, we just need to hold the pillow tighter over their head until they stop moving. But I would like to do a shout out to your sister, Haley. Hello. And then
sure, yeah.
I'd like to introduce your other sister.
Oh,
Come on over.
okay.
As promised. I'm just kidding. It's not your sister. It's
Okay.
it's Brody. Hello.
Brody, my brother. Yes, for those who are wondering, we've talked about my brother before, and that is him right there on the right side of your screen. That is Brody Esden. Brody, how are you, pal?
Good.
Well, it's
Yes.
great to have you on the show, Brody.
And just for the record, everyone set up. He is actually a very tall individual. He just happens to be sitting on something lower than me. But
I
yes,
see.
he,
Okay, that's good to know.
he's,
How tall are you, Brody? Do you know?
Almost 6'2".
Okay, 6'2".
yeah,
Okay,
he's
that's
about
good.
6'2" when he's standing on a 3-inch phone book. But anyways,
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into the topic. I'm sure you got some questions for Brody later.
Yes, I absolutely do. So again, the main breadth of this show is based on an NFL documentary that came out recently. It's the NFL Draft Going Behind the Scenes. They released one last year on Roku, and they've released another one here on the program. And I will throw it up on the screen. We won't be playing the audio. You may see a little bit of the video on the screen, but we're not going to be playing it. We don't have the rights to play that. But what I will be showing you instead is that just the offer. So the Jets were on the clock. Remember, this is back when the Jets had the number 10 overall pick. Okay. They received a call from the Rams, and this is showing it on the screen what the offer was. The Rams offered their first round draft choice, which was pick 19, and their second round draft choice 52 to move up to number 10. The Rams were apparently targeting Brock Bowers, the Georgia tight end, and the Jets said, thanks, but no thanks. And they hung up the phone. And then the Jets ended up trading from 10 to 11. So we'll start there. And I will just say off the top, I love that the Jets told the Rams to go pack it because according to the NFL draft value chart, the Jets would be underselling their pick. The combination of 19 and 52 is not worth 10. And if I'm trading back in the first round from 10, where you could get a blue chip level player, to 19, where it's a lot less uncertain, I need to be overpaid to trade back that far. Not underpaid. And this first offer from the LA Rams is straight cheeks. It's garbage, trash. And I'm glad that the Jets said no.
That type of mentality. By the way, Brody will be back in a minute. That type of mentality is the problem, right? You're missing it. You're looking at this weird thing. You're not Kevin Costnering it, and I'm a little disappointed. So the fact is, we're not getting our value for this. Well, the reality is we missed up a free second round pick. That's what we missed. That's what we missed. If anyone that watched my mock draft, the Jets had the golden opportunity, right? I imagine they could have still made the trade to number 11 and then still gotten this trade. And what is your little beep, 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 beep? What does that give you, right? The fact is we could have got a comparable offensive tackle and a free second round pick. And the second round pick we could have gotten with a little manipulation was Zach Frazier, who you can lock this in, stone cold lock, is going to be a multiple time Pro Bowler at center. They could have set up their offensive line for the next decade of excellence. And they gave that away for nothing just because, well, we don't want to trade with the Rams. Right? That's what they gave up because they had comparable talent on the board. PFF said the other two offensive tackles they could have gotten comparable.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with the PFF nerds in the locker because to me, it's not comparable. So the other tackles that would have been available. So again, if the Jets would have made this trade go from 10 to 19, here are the tackles they would have lost out on. Obviously, Olu Fashanu, the tackle they ended up with, would have been gone. Talise Fuaga went a few picks later to the Saints. He was off the board. Armarius Mims went to the Bengals, one pick ahead of the Rams pick, which would have been the Jets pick. Here are the other offensive tackles that would have been on the board. Troy Fatnow, who went 20th to the Steelers, but the Jets did medically red flag him before the draft for a knee issue, so it sounds like he would not have been on their board, according to Tony Pauline. The other offensive tackle that went was Jordan Morgan of Arizona. Very meh guy on the board. Tyler Guyton is a guy I really liked. He went to the Dallas Cowboys, but the problem with Tyler Guyton is he's incredibly raw. So if, in theory, Tyron Smith does not play all 17, then the Jets would have been forced to rely upon a less than ideal guy to step in immediately to protect for Aaron Rodgers, which would have been a concern. So I kind of combat the comparable tackle. Olu Fashanu was rated the number one pass protector in this entire class, and that was the perks of adding him to the team because he would perfectly protect Aaron Rodgers if and when called upon. So again, we talked about our big board heading in, and I wanted one of the big three receivers. None of them were available. I was open to Brock Bowers. And then, of course, there was always the opportunity for Olu Fashanu, who's this talented guy who we liked very early on in the process, and there was some hoopla in the middle that seemingly dropped him down draft boards. But a guy that could step in immediately, there's no rawness there with Fashanu. So I push back against the quote-unquote comparable thing here. If the Jets thought that Fashanu was this blindside protector, which, by the way, has been a revolving door since D'Brickashaw Ferguson hung up his cleats, I trust the Jets' evaluation as opposed to trading back and hoping you get a okay tackle. The Jets are in a all-in season. Quality is more important than quantity. This Jets team is one of the best rosters in football, as it's been ranked top 5 across the National Football League by different media groups, including NFL.com and The Athletic. So that means less spots are available. So you need more quality over quantity, and that's what they got with Fashanu. With ultimately the 11th overall pick, we'll get to that in a second.
Good God, breathe. Is that how you're going to win this argument, by just babbling and not giving me a chance to put any of those 55 points you just had?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, that's nice. Because you're battling your geek analytics with their geek analytics. And I would tell you, if we went back to the record, right, I think Mims was still available, which is the person you spoke of.
No,
I'll tell you that
18.
Fashanu, he may not have been. I'll tell you, Fashanu is not a name, if we went back to the Boyd Green tapes, that you talked about all that much. We did
at the beginning.
We did. Well, okay. I'm not talking about it at the beginning. In the beginning, we talked about drafting Joe Montana. We're talking about reality. When the rubber hits the road, we're doing the mock drafts. He was not someone you're even talking about. So let's not do revisionist history here and pick and choose what you want. But your
It
fact,
changed after we signed Tyron Smith.
I'm going to babble, so you don't get to talk right now. But anyways, the facts are right. Guyton is comparable. You may not like it. And the other thing that solved with that pick and some manipulations, we could have got Zach Frazier. The other thing is it solves the problem the Jets still have, right? Which is around center, right? You would have.
We don't have a problem at center. We're good at center. We have Drew Tippmann.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Who was the second round draft choice. He went even higher than Zach Frazier. He went 43rd overall in last year's draft. So if the Jets would have drafted Zach Frazier,
You're the one.
Tippmann wouldn't have had anywhere to go.
That center. You have literally said on this show not that long ago that center was an area of concern, right?
Backup center.
That's right, and that's what I'm talking about.
Well, Zach Frazier wouldn't have been a backup. You're drafting a backup center with a second round draft choice. That doesn't make any sense.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
We'll agree to disagree, but definitely comparable numbers. And it was a missed opportunity for a free player. Neither one of the round 1 or 2 were going to fit into the Jets starting lineup, hopefully, right? But it could have set them up for the future for a long time to come.
Yes, and the only thing I will say is, again, at the very beginning of the process, which you don't want to count, it was pre-free agency. So at that point, the Jets had multiple holes on the offensive line that were all available. They weren't accounted for yet. At that point, it felt like, and I mentioned it before, the 2020 NFL Draft, where there was the shiny object, CeeDee Lamb, on the table, which a lot of Jet fans wanted, including me. I loved him, but I knew they couldn't take him because they had to take an offensive tackle if one of the big four were available. As it came about, 2 of the 4 were available, and they picked the wrong one, but they took an offensive tackle. It felt like they had to take an offensive tackle early in this process because they needed protection for Aaron Rodgers. That conversation changed the moment they signed Tyron Smith and traded for Morgan Moses. And then all of a sudden, if they would have drafted a guy, he wouldn't have been immediately available, which is why I think a lot of people went away from offensive tackle later in the process. So here's what happened. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
So who did the Jets draft instead of CeeDee Lamb?
Mekhi Becton, yeah.
Who was that again? Mekhi Becton? I see.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles guard, apparently.
That was a solid pick. Solid.
Yeah. Well, again,
you wouldn't want to have CeeDee Lamb. Those salary cap, that nightmare, 100 receiving yards per season. It's a nightmare. Hey, anyways, I'm sorry. I interrupt you.
No, I think it's good on Father's Day. It's important to compromise. So how about neither of us get CeeDee Lamb because he's going to be traded somewhere else because Cowboys can't keep their players. So, okay, guess we'll do that. Anywho, ultimately, this first trade offer, okay, the Rams called the Jets, say, bang, bang, we'll give you 19, which is the 19th overall pick in the first round, and 52. Jets say, go pack a bag, pal. It ain't happening. Pound sand. So the Jets decline, and they instead trade with the Minnesota Vikings. They flip from 10 to 11. Because the Vikings are fearful someone's moving up for J.J. McCarthy. Joe Douglas does a Jedi mind trick and then gets that free pick. You're wondering about free picks. He gets a free pick from doing that because obviously the Jets are not taking J.J. McCarthy. And they apparently made up or actually had calls coming in and they forced the Vikings to flip up. So now all of a sudden the Jets go from 10 to 11 and the Rams come calling back again. They're like, okay, we can't play around anymore. So they increase the offer. Here is the next package I'll throw up here on the screen as the Rams attempt to trade up for a second time here during the 2024 NFL Draft. The Rams offer their first round pick, their second round pick, and their third round pick in exchange for pick number 11, which the Jets just traded and acquired from the Vikings, and pick 185, which I believe was the Zach Wilson pick they got from Denver, which they never ended up keeping anyway because they moved around the draft later. But this is the new trade. And now I will say after the first one, I'm a lot more intrigued by this one because now the Rams, I don't know if it said, never take their first offer thing because it was crappy. But now the second offer, all of a sudden they get a little bit more serious, offering their top 3 rounds of picks. This is where we can have a conversation and where it might be interesting.
Yeah, right. After they went to 11, this is the same, only better, right? And
correct. That's what yes. So the first one, let me just to recap just in case. The first offer was just their first and second for 10. 10 is a better pick than 11. The Jets are like, that offer sucks. See ya. Hang up. They trade back with the Vikings with 1 pick up an additional draft pick. I believe it was an extra 4th rounder, and then they flipped a 4th and a 6th and stuff. But that's irrelevant. They just picked up an extra pick. Now they go to 11. The Rams call back again and increase their offer. This is more juicy. They're offering even more than they did for 10. They're getting desperate because they think they're about to lose their guy, which again we find out is Georgia tight end Brock Bowers. So they offer their 1st round pick, their 2nd round pick, their 3rd round pick in exchange for the Jets' 11th overall pick in a 6th rounder in this draft, which, like I said, I believe was a Zach Wilson pick they got from the Denver Broncos. So yes, this one I will just say, to be honest, okay, now I'm thinking. The first one, I didn't think at all. That was a trash offer. I'm not trading all the way back there unless I'm getting more value. This one is more intriguing. This is where we can start to discuss.
Yeah, I don't think this is more intriguing. I can't believe we walked away from it.
That's what Phil is saying. He's saying, wait, what? This trade was on the table. He didn't take it? That's 100% true. Yes.
Right, because the value of, if that was the Zach Wilson pick, that would be incredible. We would have essentially gotten a 3rd round pick for Zach Wilson, where all we got was like a warm cup of coffee and some swept off the stadium floor popcorn. So,
yeah. Again, and just to repeat, because some people appear confused, the first offer, so like some people are saying, wait, I thought it was a 1 and a 2, Jared B. The Rams called at pick 10. They offered 1 and a 2. The Jets said, pack rocks, we're not going to do it. Jets trade from 10 to 11 with the Vikings. Now they're on the clock at 11. The Rams call again, and they give this offer, which I'll take your comment off so you can see, and they offer a 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick for 11 and 185, which is in the 6th round. The Jets also said no to this because they end up taking Olu Fashanu. But this was the 2nd trade offer because, again, it was multiple attempts by the Rams. But go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, no, my argument was the other one was a slam dunk. Obviously, this one is beyond that. And they did pretty solid. It's just odd that they would let this go by. Overall, there's a couple things that I wouldn't do if I was Joe Douglas. One is I wouldn't have passed on this trade. The other one is their backup quarterback. So there's been some misses, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. But I'm not. Someone way earlier said, we should have. I'm not talking about firing Joe Douglas. It's just questionable. Is that, is it a decision by committee? Is it just Joe Douglas? What is it? It's just odd that if a group of heads got together and like, let's map this out, right? Because we're sitting here on a Saturday morning. I'm in a hotel room. They've got a war room with all these people dissected, and PFF is a joke. If you're a $1 billion franchise, $1 billion plus franchise, you've got these people broken down like it's Madden, like every attribute they have, every dynamic, and the data. So the fact that they had all that on the board, they knew who was available, they knew their roster. I still question that they walked away from this because, right, forget that you're giving up the 6th round. You're getting a 1, 2, and 3, and that's a pretty good. That's middle of the road 2, right? So
yeah, it's a middle of the road 2 and a very late 3.
Yeah,
a very late.
I mean, right, but what are you really giving up? The 6th rounder, the likelihood that he's going to make the team is zip and pip. Rounds 1 through 3, those are probably starters. So the Jets potentially gave up 2 starters by not making this trade. So that's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just want to reveal this because 19 is probably still an offensive tackle. We talked about some of those options that are on the board. 52, we already know what that would have been based on the Jets documentary. They were trying to trade up since about pick 45 to get the guy they ended up with anyway at the top of the 3rd round, which is Malachi Corley. So they would have ended up with the same player, it seems like, at pick 52 that they ultimately ended up getting at the top of the 3rd round, which was Malachi Corley. He was the first pick of the 3rd round. He was pick 65. So the Jets would have had the same player. What's intriguing is what could have happened at 99, which again, this is the second to the last pick in the 3rd round. The 2 players that went were Cameron Kitchens, a safety. Again, the Jets didn't swim in those waters. Luke McCaffrey, who is in the McCaffrey family, the son of a really famous player, and also the brother of Christian McCaffrey. So he could have went potentially. And then we go to the top of the 4th round. That's where other picks could have been. And I'm trying to see if there's anyone of great note here on the board. And there's Javon Baker, I guess, could have been the pick. The Jets were sniped by the New England Patriots for that pick. So maybe, but really, I guess that's the conversation. Again, they would have ended up with the first two same players that they had, not Fashanu, a different offensive tackle with Malachi Corley, but 99 would have been the more intriguing one. But yeah, to be honest, this is from a value standpoint, this is much more appropriate for what it should have been. And again, if the Rams weren't messing around and if they would have offered that the first time, maybe that was enough for Joe Douglas. Who knows? But we never see what it ends up being. So, anywho, those are the two from, again, the NFL draft. Just want to have that quick conversation. Again, the full NFL documentary just dropped. You can check that out on Roku if you'd like. They've done it for a second straight year of where teams give them behind-the-scenes access, and they're able to piece all the stuff together, which is pretty interesting. All right, Pop, would you like to go to some story time, or is there a different Oh, wait. Oh, yes, before we get to any of that. Yeah, Brody, can...
Here, yeah. We'll scoot over a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Brody,
yes,
is a strapping 34, soon to be 34-year-old, your older brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he originally hails from Slidell, Louisiana.
Yes.
And so unfortunately, he's a New Orleans.
Yeah, so he is my if you don't mind, bro. Yeah, you can speak, bro. We can talk here. Yeah.
That was a weird pick about what the Saints picked.
Oh yeah, let me
Spencer Ratcliffe, I think.
Oh, Spencer Rattler. Yeah, the South Carolina quarterback. I like that pick. Yeah, I thought that was a good value.
As a South Carolina resident, Brody, I thought you'd been high on Rattler because there was a lot of talk of him, where would he fit in the mix. Boy Green was actually interested in, as a potential.
He ended up going in the middle of the 5th round. Yeah, great value.
Right. He could have been one of those free players that we passed on. So where do you think the Saints are going to end up this year, Brody?
Yeah.
I hope they do better than they did last year.
That's a pretty low bar. As a matter of fact, it's laying on the floor. You could step over it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It was a little, if I remember correctly, which I do because I know who actually was, the NFC South champion. The Saints are supposed to take it. They get Derek Carr, our Jets leftovers, because we didn't want him. They go 9-8. So it's just kind of blah.
I disagree with you on that.
That they went 9-8?
No. What I'm saying is,
that's right.
What are you saying?
Yeah. So the answer, New York
10-0.
10-0. Well, there's 17 games. But anyways, New York Jets FL, this is not the brother. Even Boy Green is smarter than to mess with Brody, who's we'll give him the 6'2" on his tiptoes standing on a book. 6'2", and we're not sure how much he weighs because the scale kind of does that ding, 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 ding. But anyways, no, he did not fight with him. This is his older brother. The one he fought with was Nick.
Which is also my older brother, but not as old because we're all separated by
nowhere near as large.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we always tell stories, Brody. Did you hold on a second? We always tell stories during this time of the show, Brody.
Sure, yeah.
We're going to tell a story about when we were all living here in South Carolina, right down the road here in South Carolina. So I'm going to tag team this with Boy Green, and we're going to ask you for your input at some point, Brody. But we had a house, had a very large backyard, and the backyard was a very interesting fort. It wasn't very big. It was a fort, and in the fort was this long tube, and I think it was literally one of the water pipes that you see them digging up and putting on the side of the road. And for some reason, they had put it in this fort as a kind of I don't know, as a slide, if you will. You could climb up to the top. The fort was probably about 8 feet tall, and this tube stuck out about 12 feet, I would say, because it was at an angle.
That's about right.
It was actually, you think about today, there was not a safe zone because you literally kind of had to hang out a little bit over nothingness to get in this tube to slide down.
That's correct.
So in the safety world, it wasn't very safe. And at the bottom of the tube it was at an angle, so it had a small area that if you were human-sized, you could actually slip out the bottom of the slide. So So it was a very large backyard. Nicholas PJ, his sister Kaylee, and Brody, and some friends. CJ, shout out to CJ, 2K.
Sure. There you go.
We're all playing in the
And
backyard.
Miles.
And Miles, thank you.
Yep.
They're all playing in the backyard. And then I'm going to turn it over to PJ to tell, because I don't have the eyewitness. I wanted to set it up. I didn't have the eyewitness account. But the important part is right before this event happened, I need you to ask Brody what he said. But anyways, I'll turn it over to Boy Green for a moment.
Yes. So, we ended up getting my father's assistance when the story went sideways. His and several of his friends helped from inside the house. But no, so we're all in the backyard. It's several of us, me, Brody, and a lot of the people, cast of crew and characters, my father just said. And I don't know if it's just some affinity that Brody has, but like if he gets challenged, like it's happening. If you if you're like, go to your favorite Christmas movies. I dare you. I triple dog dare you.
Triple dog dare you, champion.
Well,
right,
yeah,
Brody?
I guess I have no choice. I got to get right into this. So, we're in the backyard, and there is that fort. So, like again, it's a massive backyard. On the back left side is just multiple dog kennels. On the right side, there's a mini forest, but it's probably doing it a disservice because it's not quite or too much of a service because it's not really a forest. There's a bunch of trees, and in the back right corner is this like tree house. And ultimately, I can't remember who. The story gets lost on the who challenged Brody to this ordeal. But we see this slide in the pipe. Oh, do you know, Brody? Oh, tell me. Yeah.
It was Nicholas.
Of course it was that bastard. That was, again, one of my other older brothers. So he challenges Brody. Hey, I bet you can't get up in that pipe and slide down, which, by the way, none of us had. Even the smaller people, none of us had done it because, again, it looked very questionable. There probably should have been some cautionary tape to say, it probably shouldn't happen here. But we just kind of enjoyed the fact that the clubhouse was there. Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, and for those physicists out there, the diameter of this pipe was probably about 2.5 inches, diameter. The diameter of 2.5 feet, excuse me. The diameter of Brody is about 3 feet. So I just had to tee that up for those scientists in the room.
So basically, there's some chatter going on with like, I bet you couldn't get up in that pipe. So again, I don't even know how Brody got into it, to be honest with you, which I'll have to ask Brody here in a second of how he was, because again, think of a clubhouse, right? Boop, boop. And then there's this pipe, and then you have to, again, free fall. I don't know how you jump to hold yourself in the pipe before you can slide down because there's nothing to stand on once you get past that point. So I have no idea how Brody was able to do this, but the bet happened. My other brother, Nick, is like, bet you can't do it. And Brody's like, watch this. And then he jumps up to the pipe and gets to, I know. And he gets to the top of the pipe. And what did you say, Brody, to all of us that were down there?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Did you make a hand signal there? What did
he did. He did a salute. Yeah, I remember
a salute, baby.
That's what he did. So my brother Brody, again, climbs up on this tree clubhouse to this awkward sewage pipe, whatever kind of pipe this is, and he jumps to the top of it, and before he sends his body flying down to the bottom, he's kind of holding himself up, one hand on one side, one hand on the other. He looks at us and goes, hasta la vista, baby, and gives us a salute and goes, whoop. And the problem is he didn't go down the tube. He actually got stuck in the middle, and Brody's kind of like this, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. And when you have fun games when your kids are like, ha ha ha, oh wow, this just turned dark. This just turned serious. Oh boy, what do we do here? And Brody was frustrated because he's stuck in this pipe. And I'm like, oh boy. And the other problem was what made it worse is this pipe was not used to a Brody going through it. So the pipe actually slid down even deeper into the clubhouse, which is bad because there was already not a lot of room to slide out if you successfully Okay, so the slide, because of the weight, shifted even tighter. So now, even if Brody did make it all the way through, he would have been stuck because the pipe is now wedged into the clubhouse. He was stuck either way. So there's only one way out of that pipe, and that was reverse the other way. And I don't know how the hell I'm pulling him out of there. So we have to then tag in the assistance of the parents. You don't want to do this, but like, we have no other choice. We have to let them know what the hell happened. And then I'll throw the story over to you, Dad. So we come to you, and there's several of your friends. You guys are doing something or having some sort of shindig inside the house, and then you all are called upon to save Brody's life.
Yeah, so it was like when the teacher looked outside the window and wondered where Flick was after recess was over, and then found that his tongue was stuck to the pipe because he'd been dared.
Sure.
Yes, so we were watching football. It was a Sunday afternoon. We were drinking adult beverages, watching football. We went out, and it was almost like Winnie the Pooh when he tried to go in the tree and get the honey, and he was stuck. And the problem was, besides that, Brody was not light. There's reality to dead weight versus weight, right? I could deadlift a lot of weight, but deadlifting dead weight somehow weighs more. So
Double dead. Yeah.
yeah, at the top. So we go down there, look, and his hands are above his head. He's stuck. A, he's stuck, and B, the sun's out, guns out, but the guns aren't really loaded, right? So the strength is not maximum. So we are standing on a 1-inch piece of wood, leaning down, trying to drag up whatever amount of weight through this hole
At a 45-degree angle,
at a
too.
45-degree angle with no assistance. So it was a good time. We finally got him out. It probably took about 45 minutes to drag him out, but it was a good time. But he's here today. We're happy.
Yeah.
Can you just do one more Hasta La Vista with a salute, Brody?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Wait. So do that one more time, Brody. The salute.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah. See, it's not a full salute like military. It was this. That's it. Now I remember It was almost like Beautiful Joe, like the cartoon character. That was it. Yeah. Now the memories are flying back in. But
No, I'm
yeah,
not
so there's
proud of myself for doing that.
He's not proud of it. But if you
Well,
triple dog dared him right now,
yeah.
it's probably only 3 miles away from here. We could go over there and do a reenactment.
No.
I wonder if it's still there. I wonder if it's still standing. I don't know. We never really played much in it because it's just kind of like 4 or 5 pieces of wood up. I mean, it wasn't this magnificent clubhouse, but it was just our clubhouse. But so yeah, I'm curious if it's still standing back there, wherever that is. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we might go over, with some binoculars and peep over a fence here in a few minutes.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be fun. I'd like. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, the sequel. What happens now? I'm sure that's, I'm sure people are interested in that. So yeah, I'm not sure. A couple of people were asking about like what was the texture? What was the type of pipe that it was? It's not like a metal pipe, but it was like just again a very hard plastic that again
I think it was PVC. It was corrugated, right? Because it had the ridges on it.
Correct, right. It's kind of like how you put in those ditches, what I'm talking about, where you have certain those. So that's what I assume it is. But anywho, yeah, good times, a lot of good times. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to do before the potential of phone calls here?
No, I don't think so, bro. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, please do.
Do you think this LSU Tigers would beat the USC Trojans
this season?
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, for you, Brody, yes. I think the LSU Tigers, although they lost some talent this year, we lost a couple of really talented defensive tackles in the draft. I think they lost 3 of their top 4 or something like that. So they lost a lot of talent, but hey, LSU always finds new talent, Brody. So sure, yeah. And they don't have Caleb Williams anymore. The USC doesn't.
I already know who the starting quarterback is.
Who's that?
Garrett. His last name is hard to pronounce.
Okay, that's right.
Okay.
It's not Gannon Eston?
No, it's Garrett.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Are you talking about the LSU guy, Brody?
Yes.
Okay, I will find out. I have to find out that information for you now. People are left on a cliffhanger, for Pete's sake. Let me see. It is Garrett Nussmeier, maybe? Nussmeier?
All right, there you go. All right.
Yeah, I guess so. But anywho, and he was born in 2002. That makes me feel incredibly old. Excellent. All right, I will open up the phone line so people can call in and ask me, my father, or hell, even my brother a question if you'd like. And I will put that up in the chat. We have 300 people in the room right now, so make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate the support every day. We're live at 7:30 in the morning, so appreciate you. All right, here we go.
All right.
I am dropping.
You want to say hi to Haley and Mom while you're waiting, Brody?
Yeah, please do.
Hi, Haley and Mom and Kaylee.
Okay. And any other shout outs you want to give, Brody? Oh, there you go, Nick.
Kaylee and Tatiana.
And
Oh, there you go. My beautiful
and
fiance. Nice.
So Raya
Zariah Luna.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Zariah
Zariah
Luna.
Luna, baby.
and
She's asleep right
David
now. But...
and Sophia.
Yep, there you go. Nice job.
Yeah, there you go. A couple of my nieces and nephews. Beautiful. All right. Great stuff, Brody. All right, let's jump right to the phone lines, and that is now open, baby. So, again, that is the pinned comment on YouTube if you're watching, and any of the other features. Heavy on Jets Facebook page, my Twitter account at BoyGreen25. You must hop on over to youtube.com/BoyGreen25 and click that pinned comment at the top to join the room. All right, we will start off here with NY Jets FL joining us. What's up, pal?
Morning, Paul Senior, Paul Junior, and Brody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Question about the original topic before I get to the pipe scenario. The Jets must have a lot of confidence in Olu if they're not going to get off of 11. That's the only thing I can think about. Maybe the drop off in talent, and there was a lot of rumors about the drop off in talent once you get out of maybe 15, where it came. There was so many players, maybe with a late first or second round grade in there throughout the first, second, and third round. That there was a select amount of players that were in the top 10, and then the drop off was, I think, severe at some point. Ricky NY made a really good point. And Paul, I wonder if this is possibly true.
Okay.
Traded the 10. Say we traded 11 for the 3 picks with our salary cap. I wonder if that equaled to greater than the value of the 11 pick. I wonder if the 3 had to sign those 3 picks was that greater than the 11th pick in salary? Because you got to pay those guys, right?
Yeah, let me look at the slots. I don't think it would be greater. I don't think that would be enough money to make up because, it's significant early, and then it starts again. I always have to preface this. Obviously, any of this money would be great money for us, but from an NFL perspective, it's a lot early, and then there's a very clear drop off that goes through. But I could do that math to see, but I don't believe that it would approach what the 11th overall is.
Yeah, I think it would have been pretty close to the wash there on spending, and in likelihood, when we packaged everything around and made our final moves, I bet you that the cost would have probably been almost equivalent to what 10 would have started at. Because we probably wouldn't have stayed put with all those picks. We probably would have moved some, which would have resulted in some savings. So I don't think it would have been a cost issue.
Yeah, I was just curious. Also, shout out, happy Father's Day. I don't know if you're going on tomorrow, but obviously happy birthday to the men. And I almost made a comment which might have been taken as controversial. The men who make the world go around, but I'll take that.
See how you did that? You're like, I didn't mean to say it, but here, let me say it. That was awesome. I like that. I appreciate that.
Hi, the moms. Hi.
Of course.
Yeah. We go out there and do the ass busting jobs. That's the way I look at it. Although there are a lot of women that do it. And in fact, I've seen a lot of women doing landscaping in my neighborhood, cutting grass and things.
Yeah. And just to be clear, Father's Day is not for Patriots fans because they had their day in May. Mother's Day.
Oh, God.
My dad is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although I got to give Belichick credit. Belichick's got a 24-year-old girlfriend, allegedly. So maybe.
Oh, I heard about that. Wow.
Bill's onto something. I don't know. Maybe he's following the Robert Kraft rule. Once you hit 70, you go down, 2 generations for your girlfriend.
Yeah, just because you brought up, Robert Kraft, I just have to say this. For one of the richest people, I don't know where he stacks up in the world. It's odd that, if I was the richest person in the world and I was going to do some of the extracurricular activities that he did, I wouldn't have gone to a strip mall to do them. They would have come to the Esden estate, and I wouldn't have gone to a strip mall where is that Roger Kraft?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm thinking, Robert may not have the street smarts. He may have the business acumen, but not the street smarts to handle, certain things. Let's say that Paul's doing the
Yep, I'm gonna have the math here, but
Yeah, he used to be a math elite, and now he struggles with the big calculator that's solar powered.
Okay, actually, it would have been significantly more. So, okay, we're able to get these numbers pretty quick. So, okay, the 11th overall pick gets a $20 million contract. The other three, so the 19th overall, which would have been the Rams pick, is $14.84 million. That second rounder is $7.3 million. So right there, it's already more. That's the fifth round pick or second round pick, excuse me. And then the third round pick is 5.58. So yeah, it is significantly more.
It would have been $6 million. I'll help you with the math. It would have been about $6 million more.
It's a 7.72 more.
Yeah,
but
okay.
That's okay.
Yeah,
one of us,
if you're going to stay there, one of us has a calculator. One just doing off the top of his head. So
okay. Ricky, yeah, but anyway, so significantly more. Yes.
So he was right. I mean, being where we have. Maybe that was a factor in not pulling the trigger. And like I said in the chat, if we had Zach Wilson as a quarterback and we were, say he was a franchise quarterback, maybe that would make sense then that we can kind of launch the players and fill in all the holes and get depth. Maybe we would have made the trade. But
that's the scene in draft day with Jennifer Gardner and Kevin Costner when they trade for the number one pick. He's like, is that going to F up our salary? And she's like, we're going to have to move some money around, but we'll figure it out. But like $7 million is a significant chunk for figuring out. So yeah, that would have been difficult.
Brody, I want to ask Brody who his favorite Saint player is.
It was Drew Brees.
Okay, it was Drew Brees. Who is it now, Brody?
I think it's Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, okay. All right.
And Alvin Kamara.
Ooh, Alvin Kamara, nice. So he's kind of having a contract dispute with the team, but I'm sure they'll figure that out.
Yeah. Taysom Hill, he's a semicolon, right? Not quite a slash.
He's a heck of an athlete. That guy's a heck of an athlete.
I still don't know who the backup quarterback is.
Oh, yeah, because Jameis Winston went to Cleveland. Oh, wait, I think there's apparently that excites Brody. Jesus. Yeah, they did have a fifth round pick somewhere recently. Let me get this, Saint depth chart up. Let's see. Yeah, I'll let you know, Brody.
South Carolina, we already talked about it.
No, it's Jake Hayner. He was the other draft choice from a couple years ago. He's the fifth rounder. So he's the backup. You have Spencer Rattler in there, and then Taysom Hill, kind of quarterback, kind of everything. Jake Hayner is your backup quarterback. There you go.
And we signed somebody else. Nathan Peterman.
Yikes. Sorry to hear that. Gross.
Oh, I don't want to break BMAC's record. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the record. So I'll let you all be. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to be on tomorrow, but if not, happy Father's Day, and good to meet you, Brody. And you guys have a wonderful day.
All right, beautiful. NY Jets FL. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, go ahead, Dad.
Before someone jumps on, I want to do a shout out, a belated happy birthday to Johnny. I think his birthday was
it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
So happy birthday, Johnny. Hopefully you got a few dozen new hats.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday belated, since we're doing those. Happy birthday to my grandma, who her birthday was yesterday. A wonderful woman.
Happy birthday to Nick.
Yeah, that was Jim.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, you're a little late on that one. Yeah, so yes, you're going to get grandson of the year if you're calling your grandmother. You didn't.
I was working. I mean, obviously. So that's, but that's okay. We'll get it in. We'll get it in. All right, let's go back to the phone lines, everybody, and we've got Bobby Midnight joining us here on the show.
What's up, Bobby? And
Brody.
Brody, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Brody.
Nice to meet you, Bobby. It looks like you got a fresh cut and a fresh hat.
Yeah, that hat's nice.
Jake. That's from Jake.
Oh, nice.
Doesn't he look like a football player? I want to mess around with him.
Brody. Who, Brody? Yeah. Yes. He is a former football player.
Yeah, it's like in your car. Objects in the mirror are larger than they appear. His head is enormous. It's hard to tell.
No, he's a good guy. Brody's a
Yeah.
good guy. Hey, Paul, you're taller than him, or is he taller than you?
Yeah, I'm taller than him. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Frodo. He is not.
Yeah,
Well,
look,
look
so
at
there
that.
you go.
He looks like a football player. Look
Yeah,
at
he's like an
that.
He
offensive
is.
lineman.
He is
Yeah.
up
I
his own.
know. The Jets are
Rather
signing.
be quarterback than the offensive.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
he
going to be
likes to
quarterback.
play
Okay.
Yeah,
there
he
you
could be like the kid from Kentucky back in the day. Lorenzo, is that what his name was? He was
I
a
know who you're talking
giant,
about.
Bobby. Wasn't he a giant?
Yes, the big guy. Yes. Didn't he die or something?
No, I think
yeah.
he's still alive. I don't know.
No, he actually did die. But
Yes, he did
digress.
die.
No,
Jesus.
Brody's
Yeah, I know.
probably a foot taller than PJ.
Oh,
Boy Green, excuse me. He's a foot taller than
Oh,
Boy
you're talking
Green.
about Jared Lorenzen?
Yes.
yes.
He
Yeah,
is
there
dead.
he is. Ah, he died in
I
2019.
forgot what he died of.
Yeah, 5 years ago. But he was, I'll tell you what, wanted to see some exciting football, college football back in the day. Watching him throw the ball around. And the other one I got to say, you want to watch some college football games, you watch, hold on, it's escaping me. He was Byron Leftwich.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
When Byron Leftwich, his offensive lineman one game were carrying him down the field because his leg was hurt, literally carrying him down the field. You got to Google that. That is that's some phenomenal. Yeah, there you go. Look, there you are. He's a
There's the River
monster.
Monsters.
He drove. That's him. That's
Yeah,
Brody?
that's freaking Jared Lorenzen. Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
him.
because he threw pretty good. He ran around pretty good.
Yeah,
for
he
a
had those guns are out.
Yeah. I
That's
remember.
not me.
No, we know it's not you, Brody.
Oh, okay. No, Brody, I didn't know. That was the other guy. He played for the
Bobby,
Jets.
what's your name?
Oh, go. Who put that up there? Somebody put that up there.
Okay.
I don't know who put that up there, but I don't know.
That's
I
okay,
didn't put-
Bobby. I love that hat though. That hat's really nice.
I didn't put that up there. So yeah, Johnny's birthday was yesterday, Flag Day. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he's good.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like Johnny.
And also, Mr. Bones' son graduated yesterday.
Oh, he did. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
From like 6th grade or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's a beautiful day here in Vermont, right where you guys live.
I have not been to Vermont in a hot second. I've been to Vermont several times in my life, but I've not been there recently. I can't see because I took out the trash this morning. I could feel that it's going to be a hot one. That's what I know. I'm in New York.
I'd rather have a hot one than a cold one.
I'd prefer the cold one. If it's cold, you could put on clothes.
and my
If it's
dad
hot,
are in
what are you
South
doing?
Carolina.
Stripping? Like, I don't know.
Well, if you're inside, you can strip as much as you want.
I guess that's true. That's I got to crochet that on
Well,
a
I
pillow.
wear
That's a good life
shorts
lesson. Yeah.
during the hot weather. So.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this one took a turn.
Well,
No,
Bobby.
okay, now you guys have a great day.
All right.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Bobby.
Yeah, nice to see you guys.
All right, see ya. Bobby joining us. He has his own channel, Bobby Woodruff. He's streaming live all the time. You guys can check him out on YouTube if you would like. All right, let's keep the train rolling here. Great background. Ricky New York graces us with his presence.
Look at
What's up,
that.
Ricky?
Hey, what's happening, Paul?
Yeah, it's badass. Yeah.
That trade offer is very interesting. Like it's crazy because like the video that I saw, on Twitter that the Rams put out was them making the actual picks that they did make. And I mean, McVay was like dropping F-bombs and they seemed so fired up about it. It's funny that they were trying to trade those picks away.
Right.
But I mean, they drafted my two guys from Florida State with that first and second pick. And he was saying like, Aaron Donald was a great player. You're not going to draft a guy that's going to replace his production. He's like, but I think we drafted two guys that can do it. And I was like, damn. And keeping them together, like that's going to be one of our toughest games we play this year.
100%. Super late in the season. But yeah, that's going to be one of the tough ones. I don't think enough people are talking about it's going to be tough.
Well, you know what? Leading up to the draft, everybody and their brother was going, oh, well, look at Puka Nacua was like a late round pick. And like we're going to find one of those in the late rounds. Like that doesn't happen all the time. That they just kind of lucked into that. Mm-hmm. And if Cooper Kupp hadn't have been hurt, they might have never found out what he was.
That's true.
But at any rate, but now those same people, when they talk about our toughest matchups, don't even mention the Rams. It's like they're an afterthought. And it's like, man, that's a big mistake. They got some weapons on offense. And
Stafford's great. I mean, Kyron Williams, the former Golden Domer. I mean, and they got your other boy, right? Didn't they get Benson? Did they get Benson too, or no?
No, he went to Arizona.
Oh, right.
We're going to see him too. And then our leading tackler is going to be a backup linebacker in San Francisco, as well as our shutdown corner went to San Francisco also.
Oh, the Michigan. Blake Corum was the other one that went to the Rams. That was it.
Yeah. Blake Corum went to the Rams.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be again. Not enough people are saying that game is going to be, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's a flex into a primetime. I think that's a 1:00 game right now, but that could be a primetime game later in the season as a flex.
Yeah.
I would say, it's probably the top 5 games. Take away the easy ones, top 5 toughest games. You take away some of the easy ones in the divisional, right? You got to play the Dolphins twice, the Bills twice, the 49ers in Houston, and then I think the Rams are right outside that batch of games I just said.
I would say San Francisco, Rams, Houston, and then the Bills after that, because, I mean, we're 2 out of 3 against them with Zach friggin' Wilson. Are you kidding me? Like, they don't scare me.
That's a good point.
And they probably took a step back, too.
Yeah, with their roster, certainly.
Although, Bills wide receiver, the rookie wide receiver from FSU, Keon Coleman, is right now working out with his cousin, CeeDee Lamb, who was not at Cowboys workouts because he's working out with his cousin.
Please don't bring him to Buffalo. That would annoy me great. I'd much rather keep him in Dallas if that's the solution. No, thank you.
I don't think we're talking about not showing up to mandatory mini camps on the show, are we?
Funny guy. We brought a comedian on the show. Hey, everybody!
Hey, let's trade. Let's let our player go trade for somebody that's never going to play for the Jets. That'd be great.
What a guy, Ricky. Thanks for the call, pal.
Have a good day, guys.
I'll try. Unfriggin' believable. And then for the first time, I'm pretty sure this individual has been a long-time frequent commenter on the show, but I don't think he's ever graced us with his presence. I don't think I've ever seen this guy before. So let's bring him in. I know it's the summer. But let's bring in Snowball?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Wow. Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Good morning, as in family.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see
How are
you,
you?
pal. Nice hat. That's very crisp. Very nice.
Thank you. I guess, if you're Joe Douglas, right? Last year, the hype was real, right? Aaron Rodgers comes to town. Hopes were sky high. And to have the rug pulled out from underneath you that early in the season, what are you going to do when you're drafting someone? Are you going to take a risk? And those offers, let me tell you, those were very tempting offers. But when you're protecting almost the best quarterback in the NFL, you don't chance that. So I'm glad that he stuck to his guns. I'm glad that he, made that choice to take Fashanu. And, repercussions behind whatever, is going to happen. That people, hindsight, they're always going to second guess what you do. Sure. But they must really think the world of Olu and, with the track record of Tyron Smith and whatever, maybe, hopefully, listen, Paul Sr., maybe, I don't know, you have a lot of experience with Tyron Smith. What do you think his chances of surviving the season are?
I think he'll play 80% of the games, is what I think.
Yeah, 80%. So we're going to get maybe, 14 games out of him? 15 games?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll miss 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, and is that is there a trend when he's gone out? Is there mid-season, end of the season? Is there a trend that happens with him?
It's really normally it's the mid of the season, and I'll tell you that he is not a player like you may see in the past. He's going to make every effort to get on the field, where some may not, and I would tell you that he's. That it's normally in the middle of the season, he'll have some, his body will break down in some area, because it's really when he's out there, the strength that he has in his hands, the torque that puts on his core. He's had these various, and it's not been like a recurring injury in a certain area. It's really He's had the neck, hamstring, the
Yeah.
back. And so, yeah, it's only the middle, and then he'll work as hard as he can to get back is what you typically see.
So do you think that's why the Jets opted not to take the bye week after the trip to London and opted to take the bye week later on in the season because they know that they're going to have those, 15 days off?
Right.
After, if he's injured, that'll give him time to heal. That might be strategy by the Jets to do that.
Yeah, and I would say just to that real quick is, you don't normally get an input to your bye week. And so that's a golden ticket, right? You open up the candy bar and there it is, right? That was a golden opportunity to almost set when it was going to happen. And so they probably put a lot of thought into it. And I think you're on to something there.
Right. Well, listen, that's my only take, but I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. And it's been a pleasure being on your show. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. All right. And Snowball, his first and hopefully not last appearance on the program. That was terrific. Good to now see him on top of everything he's been contributing to the chat. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Snowball, for that. All right. Well, unless you have anything else, Pop, that was going to wrap up the show.
Well, Brody is obviously the sun's out. The guns are out. We got to go tune those up. We're going to the gym down here.
Nice.
Do some cardio and pump some iron. So then Brody's going to go cruising for chicks later. So it's going to be a good day. I would just say, unfortunately, I will be listening tomorrow.
Okay.
But not calling in as I will be traveling back from South Carolina to the ATL. So thank you, Ann. Traveling back to the ATL. So I won't be on tomorrow. But I think when we jump back into our schedule review and stories next Saturday, you may get a guest appearance from some other family member next Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because that was probably weird for a lot of people who tuned in today, expecting the train to continue. Obviously, over the last couple of Saturdays, we've been breaking down the schedule in pieces. First 4 games, 5 games, this, that. Obviously, with how the construct of today's show went, I felt it was appropriate to take a quick bye week in the middle of our season. We got to pick where that is, and then we'll pick up the rest of that, and we'll still have plenty of time before we get to training camp. So for people that have been really enjoying that breaking down and some of the analytics and numbers and all that jazz, we'll start to get right back into that the following week, and then we'll go through that process. So I appreciate that, and sorry to anybody that was tuning in for that portion of the exam. Go ahead, Brody.
Yeah, I think the Jets will be able to beat the Rams.
Okay, I like it.
There's a vote of confidence from Brody on that. He's not sure the Saints will be able to beat anybody, but they are scheduling Slidell Middle School in their schedule this year to really try to bolster the stats.
Yeah, we'll see. But Brody, I'm rooting the best for your Saints. They don't play the Jets this year anyway, but hopefully you guys can do something in the NFC South.
Brody, I think there's one way that you can sign off your appearance today.
Oh, please do.
There's only one way. Remember, what did you say right before you went down the slide? Here, put you up. What did you say right before you went down the slide?
Hasta la vista, baby.
There you go. That'll finish us off, and I don't think I have anything else to do but just go.
Wow! Wow!
Wow. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of Boy Green Daily. We will have another special guest on the show tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that train. You guys can tune in for that very special surprise. Yeah, we can shield it. There you go. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Boy Green Daily, the 400 people that are in the room live right now, or everyone who watches after the fact. We appreciate you. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. Also, the Boy Green shop down in the link description. And you can join the Boy Green Coffee Club as well. That's where you can get your coffee mug, and you can hang out with us every single morning all year long here on the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. For me, my father, and Brody, hasta la vista, baby. We'll see you next time. Take care.